So, folks, are you familiar with the picture of these two individuals? Do you know who these two individuals are? Have you heard this story? Do you know who these people are? Please say so in the chat if you're there. If you know who these people are. So, the individual on the left, she, and I use that term loosely, she was the first openly transgender lawmaker in the United States. I mean, still is. She's still alive, but she's no longer in the New Hampshire state legislature. She was a state representative in New Hampshire. Yes, this person had to step down because of stalking. And then recently, this person and the other person you see were arrested for trading child pornography that this Groves person was creating at her job in a daycare. Yeah, you heard me right. Creating child pornography at her work at a daycare and sending these images to her partner, the first openly trans lawmaker in the United States. So let's get into the news story here. Sorry. Can we here? Let me reposition some of this window so there's more. This is from the Western Journal. Okay. So there's more text and less ads here from Western Journal. A former New Hampshire legislator who was reportedly the nation's first openly transgender state elected official has been arrested on child pornography charges, according to news reports. Stacey Marie Lawton, who was born Barry Charles Lawton Jr., 39, was arrested Thursday on 4 counts of distributing sexually explicit images of children, the Daily Wire reported Friday. WFXT TV in Boston reported Lawton's charges came in conjunction with the arrest of Lindsay Groves, 38, a former employee at a daycare center in Tyngsboro, Massachusetts. So if you have small children and you're in Tyngsboro, Massachusetts, you better follow up on this damn story. Groves allegedly took nude images of children at the daycare and sent the photos to Lawton, with whom she was previously in an intimate relationship, between May 2022 and June 2023. That's 13 months, folks. That's a lot of frickin' child porn. The outlet quoted U.S. Attorney Joshua S. Levy as saying Grove took pictures of the young children during bathroom breaks and diaper changes and then sent the photos to Lawton via text message. Oh, fuck. Prosecutors and court documents indicate Grove and Lawton exchanged more than 2,500 messages discussing and transferring explicit photographs that Groves had taken of children while employed at the daycare, including at least 4 sexually explicit images of children who appear to be approximately 3 to 5 years old, WFXT reported. Lawton, a Democrat, has been active in politics and having been elected selectman in 2011, 2019, and 2021, according to Patch.com. In 2012, he became the first transgender identifying person to be elected as a state lawmaker, thrilling LGBT activists, the Daily Wire reported. It linked a story at the time in the DC LGBT publication Metro Weekly that said his win in New Hampshire not only made history in the state, but for the broader trans movement, as Lawton became the first out trans person ever elected to a seat in the state legislature. After the election, however, a 2008 felony conviction came to light, prompting Lawton to resign, according to Patch. That conviction had led to jail time on charges of conspiracy to commit credit fraud and falsifying physical evidence committed while living in Laconia as a man, according to the report. When a special election was held to fill the post he vacated, Lawton signed up to run again. However, officials determined he was ineligible to hold public office because he had not completed his sentence, which included a 10-year good behavior clause and a restitution requirement. After paying restitution on the fraud charge from 2008 and serving good behavior clause, Lawton was allowed to run for office again in 2019 and was elected state representative in 2020 despite a 2015 arrest on a felony charge of making a bomb threat against a hospital, according to the report. Lawton's troubles with the law continued with an arrest in July 2021 on 7 counts of penalty for false information stemming from accusations that he misused the state's 911 texting system, Patch reported. He denied the charges, claiming that he'd been spoofed. Lawton was reelected again in November 2022, but resigned after being arrested again, accused of stalking a woman in Hudson, according to the report. The New Hampshire union leader said Lawton's resignation from the House came that December in the form of a Facebook video. As of today, I'm no longer a state representative, which is very disappointing, but I'm going to come back to it, Lawton said in the video, according to the report. I will be attending mental health court and getting some counseling and trying to get my life back on track, he said. I'm not perfect. Even in the future, I still won't be perfect, but I will be a better version of myself and better able to handle situations that come my way. In 2 years, the next state election, I will run for state representative again. Okay, this is from Lori Wackenheimer of the Western Journal. And, of course, there's more. There's more from the Main Wire. Horrific text messages show how trans New Hampshire state rep allegedly used daycare connections to collect explicit photos of children. Content warning, and this goes out to everyone out there. Content warning, the text messages contained in this story are graphic and depraved. By the time I'm done with this story, yeah, you will want people to be put against the wall. By Edward Tomick of the Main Wire. A transgender former New Hampshire state representative is now facing federal charges of sexual exploitation of children and aiding and abetting for allegedly using a connection with a daycare worker to collect explicit images of children. Stacey Marie Lawton, 39, of Nashua, will appear in federal court in Boston at a later date, and if convicted for the sexual exploitation of children, will face at least 15 years and up to 30 years in prison. Way too short. Way too fucking short. Up to a lifetime of supervised release. Wall. And a fine of up to $250,000. Not enough. Not good enough. Lawton, the first openly transgender lawmaker in the U.S., was previously arrested for stalking and had to resign from office just 15 days after winning the November 8, 2022 general election. Prior to stalking a woman, Lawton stepped down after winning another state. Okay, so we've already heard all this. According to the Massachusetts U.S. Attorney's Office, a preliminary forensic review of Grove's cell phone allegedly revealed over 10,000 text messages between Lawton and Groves that included discussion and transfer of illicit photographs of children at the Creative Minds Daycare in Tingsboro, Massachusetts. 4 of the sexually explicit images were of children who appeared to be approximately 3 to 5 years old. The messages also allegedly contained explicit descriptions of sex between Lawton and Groves, as well as descriptions of sex with children. Groves remains in state custody in New Hampshire after having a detention hearing on July 13th. Here is a sample of text messages between Lawton and Groves, according to the affidavit. Lawton, so would you let me F the little girls that you work with? And you're not screenshotting this and possibly use it against me at all, like we're both on the same page. We both want to do this and would let me put my D inside those little girls. I mean, what if my D is too big? I mean, it's big, but not that big. I think you can fit it in there. If it doesn't fit all the way, this is fucking gross. And then she responds, if they want your D inside them. Would you let the little girls S my D? It's their choice. I was asking because I know we've had some back and forth. It initially said we do nothing with kids ever again. Again? Again? Again! Wall. Fire. Bullet. This is fucking gross. Again. I can't. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. I can't read anymore. Look at this. Look at this. I'm trying to skim. This is horrible. This was this past June. June 13th, 2023. This person's saying that these little children want a sex toy inside them. These two people need the fucking death penalty. They need the fucking death penalty. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I'm done. I'm done with this fucking story. I'm sorry. It's fucking gross. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even covered it. I mean, you kind of have to, right? Because you know the far left are going to come out. Cheers to Bulldozer in the chat. You know, there's going to be some state that's going to pass a law about people interacting with children. Some leftist is going to come out and be like, well, you know, children are actually safer with... No. This is why it's important to hear these stories. I can't read anymore. I mean, it's just too graphic. I mean, the idea of little 3 to 5 year old girls in this fucking mutant. This fucking mutant is talking about that shit. I can't do it. So let's get some good news.